England. I've had professional studies in Japan, and all of this actually culminates into this program.
Okay.
Recently, I was employed with the Ritz-Carlton, and with the Ritz-Carlton in the area of learning and quality, I was their director of learning and quality. And so from the standpoint of being able to develop a program with all the nuts and bolts necessary for learning, not necessarily learning on the adolescent level, but also learning on the adult level, I've been trained in that.
So you're not a teacher per se with a teacher certificate, but you are a teacher in the sense.
I'm a certified hospitality trainer.
Okay, trainer, all right.
And I've been certified within the Ritz-Carlton scheme of training and learning. And as you know, the Ritz-Carlton as a hotel property or hotel company is world-renowned for its excellence.
Yes.
World-renowned for its, they're sticklers for detail. And that's the same kind of protocols that are established in the L.I.F.E program.
Okay.
It's not just a bunch of things put together whereby these young people just sit in a room and I'm just babysitting them for odd number of hours. No, they're actually doing something that's going towards an expected end.
So this is more than just sitting there and it's just something that you're articulating, but they're also allowed to participate in the program, because that'll put me to sleep.
No, definitely. They're allowed to participate because as they talk, they actually stumble upon the ideas themselves.
Okay.
Do you know what a teacher is, Pastor Mills? A teacher is a facilitator.
I do it every week, yes.
A teacher is a facilitator.
Yes,
We're there, and I'm saying facilitators are there to guide the young people to find the truth.
Yes.
And if you can guide young people to find the truth themselves, they hold on to it.
Yes.
As a treasure that they've discovered.
It will never depart from them.
Thank you.
It will never depart from them.
Rather than you telling them, let them find it.
Has this program been approved by the Ministry of Education?
Everything
been presented to them for their review?
Everything that I've done, I presented to Dr. Black. I have to give her an update because some things have changed in the program in reference to things that have been added. But I presented it to the Ministry of Education when I started it. And also, I registered it with the police. I had a meeting with them just recently, and they were very excited about it. And they're looking at being able to assist other young people. So they told me, you know, Mr. Bain, get us as much information as quickly as you can so that when we are dealing with situations where people need assistance and we feel this program can benefit them, we can give them your information. As well as...
I know you're very astute as well, and I hope that you... I hope you've copywritten this as well.
Well, I've actually set up the company with a lawyer here locally, and we are doing that. We're moving towards copywriting it so that the information that's presented in the program can remain the property of the program. And to that last point I was talking about, I also have presented it for registration to the Department of Social Services because they know the issues and problems that they're dealing with in the society every day. And for this to be able to be presented to someone who needs some direction, who needs some structure and hope in their lives, then obviously this is a resource for social services as well.
Is it faith-based?
It is. The program, the base of the program comes from the parable of the sower. Okay? From the parable of the sower, what I learned is that there are three things that are happening there: preparation, deposit, and reward or reaping. And in the parable of the sower, as in this L.I.F.E program, what I look to do is prepare these young people. And as I prepare them, then I deposit seeds. I mean, they may not understand or recognize what I say or why I say things or what I present to them, but every time I'm depositing seeds. And some seeds take a longer time, but eventually they will yield fruit. You know, there's a gentleman by the name of Les.
I want to get some of the young people in now
go ahead.
Because after sitting for 30 minutes and they ain't saying nothing, you lose me. And so I'm going to get them in now because we've been talking for more than 30 minutes now. Get them involved so that they can feel very much a part of this and talk to. Let's talk to Regime now and find out how are you, Regime?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
And how have you been introduced? Were you introduced to this program? How were you introduced to it?
Well, Basically, he just came, Miss Graham told us that we were going to be participating in the L.I.F.E program, and then we started the week after.
And what did you find that benefited you out of the L.I.F program?
From the L.I.F program, I have become more organized. And it taught me how to become more positive about my work and about decreasing the stress.
More positive. What do you mean? You were not as focused as you were, and you weren't taking things as serious? No?
No, I mean like the amount of work.
Yes.
I never used to be like positive about it. So it used to stress. There's been stress, so it taught me how to be positive about everything.
Jesse Weatherford sits next to you. Jesse, you feel that you're able to retain things better now?
Yes, sir.
You're able to remember as well? Much better than you used to?
Yes. Like she says, it's less stress, and when we come to Mr. Bain's class, we have opportunity to talk about it, and he wants to know how we feel about it, and he helps us deal with pressure and stuff that we have.
What's the introduction program? When you get into life, okay, how do we begin? When you walk into the classroom, what's the first thing you do with students on this L.I.F program?
Well, first of all, I want to do an icebreaker. I want to get to know them and help them to get to know me. I think I don't know if I use it with this group, but I used an icebreaker. Says if you were a cartoon character or superhero, thank you, Brandon. If you were a superhero, which superhero would you be? And it's a silly exercise, but what it does, it breaks the ice and enables young people to express themselves. And quite often, you're learning from what they're expressing as well. Because if they say, I want to be the Hulk,
yes,
it speaks to their mental picture of who they are or who they want to be. And for that young man who wants to be the Hulk, you want to help him to get there. Because when he looks in the mirror, he sees a puny adolescent young boy, but in his mind, you want to create in his mind the ability to see himself as the Hulk in the mirror as well. And so those little things we do at the beginning of the program, we get to introduce it. And as I've been trained, like I told you earlier, whenever we do any training program, we actually tell the participants what we're going to do. We give them an outline as to where we're going to be going. Because young people want to know where they're going. Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Yes. Not only young people.
That's true. Older people as well.
Yes, indeed.
So when you can actually articulate some direction for the young people, then they know, okay, well, we're doing this next. We're doing this. There's that trust being built. Every stage of the game, you got to build trust with young people. If you don't, you will lose them. They will detach themselves from you, and you'll be speaking to a brick wall.
And so once you get that icebreaker in, and you're now on a first name basis with them, and they begin to build this trust with you, how do you now move forward? What is it you're presenting to them as the next stage? Well,
one of the things I start to work on is the outline of what the program is. Now, we're not going to be doing a lot of talking, but we're going to be doing a lot of working.
Okay.
So I put them to work very, very quickly.
For example?
There's an item that I do. I actually give them, it's called an introspection or an internal perspective, where they actually answer questions about themselves. They answer questions, and this survey enables me to see who they are. It gives me an idea of what strengths and abilities they have. And then they also have other people speak to them as well. Now, with this group, I haven't done that yet, the 360-degree perspective, but with a group at Latter-Rain Ministries, I did it recently, where they answered a series of 72 questions, and they were able to get that internal perspective, and then from there, they give it to maybe their mother, a teacher, their pastor maybe, a colleague or a peer, and they actually look at this person and they do the external perspective. And so when you bundle all these things together, you actually have a document that can show where their strengths lie, where their developmental areas are.
You're basically sizing up yourself.
Yes.
You're doing a personal personal inventory of who you are. Mm-hmm. And are you finding that you find guys like Brandon are honest with their sizing up of their answers?
Well, what I found, especially in Brandon's case, Brandon is very honest. Mm-hmm. And what that says to me is that he wants to develop, he wants to improve, he wants help.
So some of the questions on there wouldn't be for Brandon, have you ever kissed a girl? Not those kind of questions, right? No, because Brandon might not answer that truthfully.
Right.
But it's not that kind of question.
No,
we don't want to scare you parents into thinking we're getting that down and personal in this program.
But it's questions that we allow them to really get into themselves.
Yes.
And this, done at this first stage, it allows them to think about themselves more. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of our young people are just going day by day, but they're not thinking about certain things. Mm-hmm. Slow down.
Yes.
Rather than see something, actually look at it. Rather than hear something, actually listen. Mm-hmm. So I get them to slow down and now focus on yourself.
Are you introducing them into the mindset of career choices now? That's
one of the things that we talk about, and we've spoken of in the past, is that whatever they wish to do, mm-hmm. I then encourage them in that area. Mm-hmm. And over the years, I've obtained a number of resources that at the end of our program at Cyber, I'll be giving to those persons specific as well to the area that they're going towards mm-hmm. in the future for a career choice. Okay. But with the latter rain young people recently, I did what is called a life capsule. It's a 2-week program. One week, it's in-person facilitation, 4 nights at 3 hours. Okay. And then afterwards, we actually do electronic mentoring. Mm-hmm. So I gave them the book by, I forget the name of the author, but it's As a Man Thinketh. Mm-hmm. And it's a book that helps them to understand exactly why your thoughts are so important, why your focus is so necessary to get you from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. And there are a number of resources that I give to these young people to really help them mm-hmm. to focus in and strengthen themselves, so when they actually go towards that profession, they have resources mm-hmm. that can assist them. And another thing with that as well, I tell them about becoming an expert. I don't know if you guys remember this, but achieving that expert status. Remember when I said, if you over 5 years can spend about 3 to 4 hours every week focusing in on a specific topic that you're looking to make a profession or a goal, you can actually become an expert in that area.
Okay.
For example, Pastor Mills, you want to be a pediatrician. You want to be a pediatrician, there are a vast number of topics you have to cover, but break it down into bite-sized pieces. Mm-hmm. Start maybe with the most famous diseases or the most notable diseases faced by young people. Mm-hmm. And if there are 12 diseases, take 12 months to learn those diseases. Mm. So every month, you learn a disease. 3 hours, mm-hmm. 3 hours. So in 12 hours you take for that first month, you learn that first disease.
Yes.
So at the end of the first year.
As opposed to trying to cram it all in one time.
And that's all about making a plan.
Yes, okay.
A big goal is reached by incremental steps. A lot of our young people say, I want to be this, I want to be that. Then you ask the question, well, what are you doing now? Mm-hmm. Show me what you're doing now to get to where you want to go. And this is what we teach them to do.
You find that many of these young people, even though they have the pursuits in various careers, their family economical status will inhibit them?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And how do you get them to rebound from the disappointment?
Well, first of all, you got to be real.
Or do you prepare them for this possible disappointment that, your family may not be able to afford to send you to law school, or they may not have the money necessary to get you in the cockpit of an airplane, or to do be a doctor.
And we've discussed that before. Mm-hmm. And there are times when you may not be able to go when the other children are going to school. Mm-hmm. And you may feel a sense that you're being left behind. However, it's all about mindset and it's all about perspective. Mm-hmm. If your perspective is a positive one, you will see it as being something that will prepare you for later on. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not able to go with my other friends right now, but I will work and I'll save my money. Obviously, then another plan. Yes. I will save my money so that I will have what it takes to be able to go to the school that I want to go to. And it's a matter of persons having that ability to be focused and just attach themselves to where they want to go.
But you know, having said that, last Friday I had a guest on BCN. 25 years ago, he was in Abaco, got in a traffic accident, and became paralyzed. That was 25 years ago. He is still in a wheelchair. But after the accident, he was inspired to travel to London in a wheelchair, a Bahamian, and do a law degree program, and is now a lawyer completing it all in a wheelchair.
Wow.
And so no matter, you may have some setbacks in life,
right?
Those setbacks does not prevent you from still obtaining the goals. And I'm feeling this program is a program that causes people to begin to think beyond the setbacks.
Yeah. The other day, I had them for a class yesterday at Cyber Learning Center, and I shared a video with them by Les Brown, and the video was entitled "It's Possible." No matter what it is that you're going for, it's possible.
It's possible, yes.
You know, and Les Brown says something, is one of his key statements. He says that when life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you could look up, you could get up. Now, that's a powerful statement, and it speaks to the resolve of a person, not to just give up because things didn't go your way today. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be excelling or reaching heights in the future.
Yes.
You know, my mind goes back, Dr. Mills. Years ago, a gentleman and I graduated high school, and he always talked about becoming a doctor. His parents, I guess, didn't have the money to send him off to medical school. So he actually was working and was doing like cookouts here and cookouts there. Can I mention names?
Yeah.
Dr. Timothy Williams.
Okay.
And I think he's at the Rand Memorial Hospital in Grand Bahama. And Dr. Williams pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And I saw him years later in his 30s as a doctor. Now, it took a while, but he actually got to the point where he accomplished the goal. He accomplished a dream. You know, Les Brown talks about the Chinese bamboo tree. And he says that the Chinese bamboo tree, the seed, the nut, is quite hard. So you plant the Chinese bamboo tree seed, and for 5 years you have to water that seed every day. You have to water that seed. And nothing happens in 5 years. Can you imagine? Year 2, year 3, no green sprout or nothing? But in 5 years, as you water that tree every day, he says within about 6 to 7 months, the Chinese bamboo tree grows 90 feet tall. So did it grow 90 feet tall in the 5 years that you were watering it, or did it grow 90 feet tall in the 6 months?
Wow.
It speaks to your perseverance, your focus, your stickability. I talked about Michelangelo. These young people that you see here, who knows what they will become in life? Who knows who they will impact in life? As Ms. Nab impacted me, what I'm teaching them or helping them with, my prayer is that they will impact some other young people coming up. So it becomes perpetuating.
All right, let's talk to some of them and see if this program has caused them to change their career choices, or has it caused them to be more galvanized in their pursuits. All right, let's talk to you, Brandon. This has helped you make up your mind as to what you want to be?
That's all. It made me stay the same way I wanted my job to be, but.
And what is that?
Mechanics.
You want to do mechanics. You know, that is changing. Because if you want to do mechanics today, you got to be computer literate.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of vehicles, and then you have to understand now, prepare yourself to understand the dynamic of hydro, and these vehicles that are using battery as opposed to the mechanical side, and then also using solar.
So,
So, mechanics going to change from the way we see it. And so this help you to be more focused. What about you, Razne?
Yeah. It helped me to be more focused on what I wanted to do. Like a few years before, I wasn't really sure, but since I started, I'm completely sure that I want to do computers.
Computers.
Yes,
and they're changing too, very, very rapidly.
It helped me to realize that because it helps us to understand and recognize our strengths and to use them and develop them to the best of our abilities. And I'm good with the computers, and I like doing it. So that's what my choice.
When you talk about computers, what aspect of it? Programming,
I'm learning
building computers,
programming and network security and analysis.
Okay, very interesting. And you believe that there's a future where somewhere along the line you might be able to build your own program someday?
Yes.
Who would have thought that some guy would be in his back room and create Facebook? And look where it is today. Yeah, because there are unlimited possibilities. And what were you pursuing, Jesse?
Culinary and photography.
Oh, you like photography? Do you do video stuff or
No,
just still?
Pictures, yes.
Okay, you see we're doing video on this side.
Yes.
And Regine?
I want to be an interior designer.
Interior designer, okay, yeah. Now, when you talk about interior designing, you want to, with the way the world is, you have to think more than just a home. You have to think about on a yacht, designing a yacht as well, and the interior of airplanes. You have to think outside of the box, and there's all unlimited possibilities when you start talking about interior. Most of us would think about just let's see if I can see what kind of drapes you want or where this should go. But you really, as you look into this, begin to look at some other areas where you can become more specialized. Very, very interesting. And this program is helping you more focus, be more focused. Mr. Bain, the program talks about the three components that you talked about: communication as number 2, critical thinking, and execution. Young people have their own way of communicating these days.
Yep.
It's a different style of communication.
It is.
Sometimes I look at the messages on Facebook and I need an interpreter. And the text messages, the communication is different.
Right.
How are you talking to them about being better communicators?
But one of the things that I try not to do is to become so, I guess, become an expert on their way of speaking. I try to understand it, but my time was different than their time, and so I try to, as much as I can, communicate with them. It's going to take some skill, but what I try to teach them is that the real world, the working world, calls for a certain kind of communication.
Okay, yes.
It calls for a professional presentation, professional communication, and therefore you have to learn that. I mean, we could talk with the guys on the blocks. I could go on 3rd Street in the Grove right now and I could fit in. I'm not going to be speaking as I'm speaking now.
No.
But I will speak so that they will know, hey, where you from here, right? But when the time or the occasion calls for it, you have to present yourself in a professional manner. So no matter how you talk on Facebook or texting or whatever,
there's going to come a time.
Yes, there will become a time when you have to present yourself professionally. And when that time comes, I want to prepare them to be able to do that. For example, them being here today, I didn't have to invite them. I wanted them to be a part of this. Reason being, it's a benefit to them as well.
Yes.
It teaches them how to present themselves in an occasion like this. Okay, so it teaches them all the time, and every time I'm looking for an occasion to provide them with teaching or learning opportunities.
So do you have specific roles for them to play this morning?
Not necessarily, okay. No. I didn't want to put any pressure on them to that extent, but I did want them to
I'm going to put some pressure on them.
Go ahead.
We'll do that after the break. It's approaching the top of the hour here. I want to thank you for staying with us here on The Voice of the Church. Young people, Billy Graham said years ago that young people believe that they're the first to discover what being young is all about. We can't tell them nothing. We can't direct them. They believe you never were young. But we've already passed that way. And this is a program, I'm sure, that can help you, help young people improve on their life's choices. We'll be back. We've got a couple commercial breaks to take. Stay with us. This is the Voice of the Church. Stay tuned.
Abaco Pizza invites you to take advantage of their 2011 meal deals. Monday through Thursday, all day, $5 off any of their large specialty pizza. $5 off Meat Lovers, Super Supreme, and Supremes. And Wednesdays is Flyaway Day with wings. Choose from 6 bold flavors. Half dozen for $4.50. Dozen orders just $9. It's a Wings Wednesday. It's $5 off all specialty pizzas, Monday through Thursday, and Wings Wednesday at Abaco Pizza. Call 367-4HUT or 367-4333. Pickup or delivery. I love that thick crust.
I love that thin crust.
Abaco Pizza. It's your choice.
David, tell us about your family traditions.
Well, Monday, video games. Tuesday, to the park. Wednesday, jokes. Thursday, movie. And Friday, karaoke.
David, how do your parents find the time to do so many things during the week?
Bye, Mrs. Jones.
KFC Mega Meal. More time to enjoy your family during the week.
I fly with Sky.
Sky Bahamas. Sky Bahamas, how may I help you?
This me, Jesse Poyle. I talking to you on my Redberry and I ride by my son's house and he tell me I could book my ticket without moving from my chair.
That's right, Miss Jessie. You can now book your tickets online.
Alrighty, darling. What Miss Jessie need to do?
Just drag the mouse to the top of the page.
Oi, mouse, right there.
Book online at www.skybahamas.net. Sky Bahamas, come fly with us.
Looking for property? Then Google Abaco Keys Realty. Hi, I'm Pastor Soap Mills, a licensed sales agent with Abaco Keys Realty. If you're looking for a private island, a large tract of land, a commercial or residential lot, a second home or a new home, on the mainland or on the Keys, old charm or contemporary design, Abaco Keys Realty is here for you. Give me your listing, and you'll have instant local and international exposure.